Welcome to the In the Tank podcast. Get ready for an hour of hot 40k goodness coming in your ears. You're in the tank now, baby.
We're live!
We are indeed live. Welcome, everybody, to In the Tank. How are you doing, my beautiful and sometimes annoying co-host? Are you right?
Mostly irritating. Yeah, I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. At least I'm not having phone issues like you are apparently this morning. Like, Christ. Bless you. Bless you. You know it's there. I can see it's like the one ring. It's in like the corner of your eye and you're like, you want to just jump on it, don't you? I know you. I know you.
Do, but I'm not going to because I'm a good boy.
Good lad. Good lad.
So anyway, but yeah, moving swiftly on, let's talk about Warhammer.
Yes, indeed. How's life been, my man? You been all right?
Yeah, it's been wonderful. Yeah, really good. We've finally hit 500 subs on the Battle Barn, which was a big milestone for the channel. So done that within just over 2 months. So I'm really chuffed with that. Very, very quick. So
rock and roll.
Quality of content clearly speaking for itself there.
There you go.
Yeah, we've got some more fun streams coming up, and
I've got to get on there again soon. We've got to get on there again soon.
We will get you on soon.
With a new detachment that we need to talk about in a minute.
We will.
Cool.
Awesome. How have you been?
Yeah, man, I've been doing all right. Busy as anything. Doing a lot of hobbying.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the what you're working on subject. I have painted a fucking bull.
Yeah, you finished him now, haven't you? So,
bull. What did you think of him?
He looks gorgeous. The blood around the eyes was especially erection-inducing.
Yes, well, my whole concept with that was like, if you're this algorithmically created beast that is in constant pain, having the ultimate grim dark effect of like bleeding out your eyes constantly is kind of a cool touch. So it
was beautiful.
And I got the fire effect on the base from where it's like flickering in the background, which I thought was pretty cool
awesome.
as well. Very quick shout out to Apollo, and thank you very much for my Lord of Contagion that I've been working on, because he sent that to me. He's
a good ad, Apollo.
And I've been building some Dragon Ogres. I've been like all over the bloody shop, and painting obviously my Iron Sultanate. Building some Noise Marines. God, I've been doing loads.
You've been a busy boy, haven't you?
Been doing bloody loads of stuff, mate.
You have.
Go crazy. But there we go. It's all good. What have you been doing?
I mean, I've basically just been sort of finishing off some Trench Crusade bits, like building a few models here and there. And then I've just been really like cleaning up terrain, 3D printed terrain bits for the table that we're going to do.
You've been painting anything?
No painting. I haven't had time. I've literally just been building. I went down a massive rabbit hole the other day because the table that we're doing, I want to have like LEDs and all kinds of shit like built into it so that we can have like, flickering fires and torches and stuff within the trenches and on no man's land. And we've got like some of these cages with people trapped in them with fires underneath and stuff. And I want to like light them up and just make them look fucking cool. So, cool red lights inside pillboxes, just add a bit of like, interesting atmosphere to the table outside of just like external light sources, which we can do in the barn anyway, because we've got little colored lights and things like that. So I think combined with the board and the smoke machine, we're going to get some insane looking stuff going on. So I dived down a proper rabbit hole and relearned electronics the other day so that I can actually build all of this into the board.
I didn't need that GCSE physics, do I?
Yeah, I did GCSE electronics, I think. So I actually put it to good use. It was just sort of like brain diving back like 20 odd years, so that was fun.
I think I know your news better than you do. You went to the bloody UK Game Expo.
We did, yeah, that was really good fun. And we met the Trench Crusade guys as well, which is awesome, and I had a chat with them. So got the world map as like a print, which is exciting, so I'm going to put that up.
How was the Game Expo in general?
It was cool, yeah, loads of board games, loads of like 40k stuff, like wargaming stuff just everywhere. It was just nice to sort of chill out, mill around, have a little, looky.
Can you take me next year? I'll go next year.
Yeah, well, I tried to take you this year, but you were just useless. So
last minute, you were like, "Oh yeah, do you want to go to the UK Guest Show?"
In a month. What?
Yeah. No, you didn't. It was a week or 2 weeks.
2 weeks maybe. But anyway,
I'll go next year. I'll go to you next year. I promise. We'll do a
It was good. I enjoyed it, but now we've got the actual boards, like the wooden boards, and all of the insulation foam and stuff. So all I'm waiting for is my hot wire cutter, which should be arriving hopefully maybe next week. And then once we've got that, we can properly dive in and start actually, gluing these things together, chipping all the foam away and, building the whole board, because we're going to magnetize the board so that all of the corners all slot together, basically, which will be quite fun. Yeah, it's going to be nice. Wicked. Yeah.
By the way, very quickly, I know now what you mean in regards to what phrase do you use when you collect armies that no one else plays?
Snowflaking.
Snowflake armies. So yes, so because I obviously logged on Saturday morning last weekend to go like, oh yeah, Beastmen, they're gonna all sell out, all the Forgeable stuff are gonna sell out. Still fucking up. Like,
yeah, of course it is.
I bought everything.
That's not surprising.
Space Wolves went on sale that weekend. So all the Space Wolves stuff got sold out. Like all the Space Wolves stuff got like sold out. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, cool. Beastmen aren't that popular. So that's great. That's cool with me. So yeah, so I got a 2,000 point Beastman army arriving at my door soon. So.
That's going to be fun. Nice. You naughty boy.
Naughty.
Very naughty.
Yeah. So before we get stuck into some of our other topics and some news and all kinds of weird stuff we need to talk about this week, please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you to our Patreons. Get on the Discord. It's where all the stuff's happening.
And check out the Battle
Barns Discord, where all the stuff is happening. Thank you very much for everyone's support. You guys are the best, and we love you lots.
We're building a lovely community, and it's been
the community's mad, isn't it?
And it's absolutely the best thing about the pod, to be honest.
I love logging on to the pod's Discord every day and just be like, what's everything? Oh yeah, I've got like more messages about Space Wars again.
Yeah, for sure. Every single time.
Thanks.
It's
great. Well, Ross John's just like, Space Wars! And it was like, just churning that out. There we go. But yes, please log on because it's the best and we love you. And we've had some really lovely comments from people all the way from Sweden and stuff like that recently, and some really like genuinely lovely comments. So bring it on, keep it coming. It's all good. Thank you very much. So news. GW. Now we are very sort of, I think we're quite neutral in regards to our stance on Games Workshop. Like sometimes, obviously, we're very quick to criticize and be like, "Fuck you" for doing really silly things and stuff like that. But obviously, there was this amazing thing about giving 20 mil to their employees recently in bonuses. How do you feel about that recently?
Yeah,
because
that's
their
great.
turnover was ridiculous.
That should happen, right? These are the people that make the company tick, and I think we've heard like for the longest time that they've underpaid their staff and et cetera, and that.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't want to go like personally like on the hate train for it.
No.
Like,
but
they don't
get paid a huge amount, right? Compared to some companies.
Look. Objectively, I'm a lefty. Capitalism sometimes sucks, right? Like, and like people don't get paid what they should get paid. All of that aside, any other potential FTSE 100 company could have just pocketed that as pure raw
and they
thing
didn't.
And just gone, fuck you. The fact that they've given a bonus to their employees that are obviously on the front lines and making this hobby great is, in my opinion, a minimum and awesome that they're doing that, like, quite frankly. So
it's a good move from both like a PR perspective and also just a company perspective. So
yeah, I mean, it's quite cool. It gets it in the public domain as well, right? And also, as we've talked to Peachy on the pod, obviously the bonus was given to everybody. Like, working in retail fucking sucks sometimes, right? And like, it's really cool that like everybody in the company is getting a bonus, and it makes people that are on the front lines helps them in these dark times. So that's cool. And of course we've got all the new stuff for Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights on the horizon. That looks quite fun.
There's loads of stuff coming out.
Yeah, man. It's like coming in thick and fast. But of course, the big news is the old balanced data safe and chapter improved sort of stuff. How do you feel about that? Now, you did say to me that you haven't looked at the new detachments at all.
No, I haven't looked at the detachments, but I've seen the balanced data slate and stuff like that. So that it all looks good. Yeah, solid changes for the most part, I think. So did tweakage as usual.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's been some interesting rebalances and stuff, right?
The lion got such a glow up. My goodness. That boy is like crackers again. He's got his like -1 to wound back
Wow.
over when they're tough stronger. I was like,
Wow.
whoa, this guy's gonna
No.
really
Reroll
shit.
1s to hit and 1s to wound as well within an aura,
Yeah, that's gonna be nice.
including himself.
Yeah, exactly.
And probably a unit of inner circle companions hanging around him.
And he
as
just
well.
gets to jet back off the board and come back down again as well. He could just like forest walk all
right?
over the shop. Such a cool idea. Yeah,
I mean,
he's gonna be a
was saying
problem.
it. I mean, I'm like,
He feels a lot more Primarchy now. Let's put it that way.
I'm quite happy with this. I'm quite
I
happy
should
with
imagine
this,
you are.
as is expected, right? Didn't Skitari get loads of buffs as well? The old
There was some buffs.
Skitari?
The cyber, the sort of like robots, the big Castellan robots can actually use the army rule now, which is really big. So because they couldn't before,
As they should.
So and there's a few little random tweaks around that, so that'd be fun. I love those models as well. Very fun.
I mean, they're great. The Castellans, like they give me Lost in Space.
Yes, like those
Danger
70s
Will Robinson.
robots. You know,
Yeah. They like give you that that very
quite
cool,
Fallout-y,
Forbidden Planet
aren't
vibes. Yeah. Oh yes, very Fallout-y. Very Fallout-y. And of course, we had the 3 new detachments. Oh, didn't Tau get a massive buff?
Tau got like a buff to all of their guiding and stuff just to make it a lot
But
better
their
and simpler.
stealth suits are now insane.
Yeah.
They're like stealth suits. Fucking hell, are you ready for a Tau world, Ed? I don't think you are. I don't think you personally are ready for a Tau world.
It's all right. Just hide from him.
If you can. I
Yeah.
mean, tough down. And of course, we had 3 new detachments. We
Yep.
had a Tyranid one that I have no idea about, and I presume you don't have any idea.
No
about
idea.
because you're a fucking scrub and you don't.
I haven't looked at them. I will.
It's called the Reavers detachment, I think, and I'm not quite sure why.
Some sort of burrowing detachment. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know. Like irrelevant. The Chaos one's quite interesting. The Chaos one is kind of the equivalent of the Librarian Conclave, but for
Okay.
But for them, for sorcerers and anyone with Psyker, which includes
That's
demon
cool.
princes.
Yeah.
So it's a massive demon prince. Oh yeah, the CSM demon prince got loan up, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's right. They all had it, right? So it makes sense for them to get it.
Which is cool. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that they've got that thing going on. And then, of course, the Dark Angels detachment, which is the Wrath of the Rock.
Okay, that's a cool name.
Yes. I think it's going to be great. I
Yeah.
think it is make Dark Angels great again. So the main detachment rule is that anything higher than your toughness for your infantry and mounted units
Okay.
have a -1 to wound.
Oh, okay. That is good. That's very good.
Mini transhuman. It's like
Yeah.
we're in the realms transhuman
No,
again, boys.
not this
It's getting
again.
good. It's getting good.
That on Deathwing Knights is going to be obnoxious.
Oh, it's coming. It's all coming. And in the same detachment, the Deathwing Assault enhancement comes back for turn 1 deep strikes.
Oh,
as
you
well.
love that.
Oh!
You could put your army right in front of the World Eaters again. Turn 1. Let's go,
There's
baby.
an
And then
advance
fail
in
the
charge.
charge.
There's an advance in charge attachment.
What,
There's a
strap?
better... Yeah.
What, for
There's
anything?
Yeah. There's
Oh,
and a better heroic intervention that doesn't involve charges but involves movement
Okay.
or within 6 inches of something. It's going to be good, mate. And a plasma buff. So, like a gun buff.
Yeah.
So it increases your AP and strength of your guns, making Hellblasters strength 10 and
Yeah.
AP 4. Oh,
And it'd be good on the old, the little speeders as well.
Yes.
The
Yes,
Vengeances.
yes. And of course, the Hellblasters also get the bonus of the transhuman as well.
They do. Oh, God. They're gonna be fun. That's literally the perfect attachment for you. That's like, you always run those. You always run loads of Terminators. God damn it. Now you got the buffed ass out his ass lion. I'm going to be in danger.
You're gonna be. I'm in danger.
I'm in
You're gonna
danger.
be in danger.
Yeah,
You're
I
gonna be
am.
in danger. You're gonna be in danger. How
I'm
do
just
you
going to have
feel
to
about
run
that?
like 1,000 million AdMech things and just shield wall you with bodies and just be like, no, I don't care.
Ooh, and during my
Run at
year
my
of
man, I
chaos,
don't care. You just
it feels
kill
like
them.
it literally feels like the Emperor's like casting his line out and like ready, trying to get me back from my year of chaos. He's like,
come
oh,
on,
I'm sorry,
it's the ultimate
come on
detachment,
back,
Russ.
come on back."
You
It kind
even
of
said
is.
you're going to play them next time on stream. When is
New
that? Have we got
detachment.
something in the diary yet?
We need to. We'll
need
book
to,
it after
yeah,
this.
we'll book it after this, yeah.
Speaking of booking stuff in the diary, just to move on, look at this wet blend. I'm fucking on it today. You're like molasses brained, and I'm just like I'm shooting
fine.
it off. Are you? I just need poke. I just need a poke. I'm fine. I could just see you looking at your phone.
I'm not looking at it at all. It's over here.
Yes, but I feel your brain thinking it. I can feel your brain thinking it. We're doing some stuff for Aberdeen Whitney College, which is
that's going to be wicked.
Where to encourage your peeps and to do it, we're basically judging a mini curation competition.
Yeah.
For either a 40k style
40K?
system. 40k.
You did say
system.
gay.
I did not say gay. Well,
we'll watch it back. I'm just going to make it like 200% louder. 40 gay.
Please do.
I will.
Okay, future editing Eddie, if you want to make work for yourself, do it.
I will.
40k. Wow, I've obviously got some interesting subconscious thoughts. But a 40k
yes.
adjacent system, Sigma system, or if they want to do a Trench Crusade system, cool. Where they'll be designing their own miniatures. And I think the winners will be judged by us.
Amazing.
Really cool. And will be 3D printed.
Wow, okay, cool.
As well.
Very exciting.
So that's cool. So we'll be posting some stuff about that, and we'll be lecturing them in 2 weeks. So the week after this goes live. And talking about what we're looking for in minis and stuff like that. So anyone, Aberdeen Whitney, logging on now to check us out, like, good luck.
Prepare yourselves.
And it'd be wicked to be doing something on such a grand level and encourage the youngins.
It'd be fun, yeah.
Well, the whole point was obviously miniature wargaming is becoming massive.
Yeah.
Right?
And it'd be nice for you to be able to pass on your wisdom before you die of old age as well. So
oh, that was just unnecessary. Is it because I'm hitting a nerve today?
No.
And you're going for the jugular.
I'm starting to get a bit snippy now.
You're backed into a corner and you're going for the
I've gone into
balls.
Honey badger mode.
Yeah, you calm down, young man.
You
it's
simmer the fuck down. You simmer down, boy.
If anyone needs to simmer down, it's you today. Thank you very much. It's all good. Jesus. God, Jesus. So thank you, Aaron and Whitney, for that opportunity.
Yes,
to do
that's very good of you. It's
cool
work
fun. With the youth, the off, and to help them, the young bloods, as they're known in the hobby, right? And to give them things. Some of them obviously love Warhammer and Games Workshop and stuff already, so we'll be preaching to the converted. But it'd just be cool just to touch base, touch base and see how we're getting on.
Appreciate you getting me involved.
Yeah, it's all right. Don't be silly. It's wicked. It's going to be well fun. It's well good. So that's August. So we've got all of our announcement news and various other things out the way. So our first one is potentially quite a spicy thing, and it's very opinionated. Should you trust influencer endorsements? Does it ruin content authenticity? Oh, now this is going to be an interesting one.
That is a spicy one.
We're dancing close to this fire. We've been dancing close to this fire for a while, right? And there may be stuff, happen in the future with us. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's in the tank or the battle barn or otherwise, right? What are your initial reactions to this? Because I've got some interesting opinions on this.
I think it massively depends on what they're endorsing. And I think how they're doing it as well. Because I feel like some influencers will just get a company reach out to them and be like, hey, endorse our product and we'll just sling you some of it or whatever. And that's fair enough. It'll happen with the barn at some point, no doubt, as well. But I think you've got to be quite choosy as an influencer about who you sort of get into bed with, as it were, because there's a lot of people that endorse products that I've tried, and I'm like, they're spouting all this good stuff about it, and I'm like, well, it's not been my experience, and it's an interesting one. I'm not going to name any particular companies because I don't want
that's fair.
to throw anyone under the bus, but like
shots fired.
But some people here and there, and I'm just like, it depends on what it is as well. Like if it's Warhammer related, obviously, I'm not talking about things like Squarespace where it's just like, they're just shouting, or like NordVPN or whatever, because those guys go with anybody, right?
It's painfully obvious when someone does that kind of endorsement that it is a monetary value thing, and I'm not actually as bothered about that because it's obvious to me. It's obvious where it's like that's just them. getting the money that they need in order to make their channel a day-to-day cost, which I'm okay with. To me, there's nothing different about that than having ad breaks in your bloody video, right? And actually, sometimes I prefer that because it doesn't mess the flow up, right?
Sure.
But as you commented, I do think that you need to, as an influencer, not that it's obviously affected us or me or whatever, be really careful of genuinely believing in the thing that you're endorsed by, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? Where, like, obviously, the Battle Bun has affiliate links.
Mm-hmm.
But all of the affiliate links are to people and companies and organizations that we genuinely, I say we, but it's obviously your pet product, but I consider myself a part of your homie, inner circle, right? That you believe in.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's Element Games, which are like a brilliant company that are great. I don't mean to endorse all of these things, but you know what I'm saying.
No.
Colour Forge, which again
we
raved about in the past.
Yeah.
And Broadsword. And we love Ollie. We love Ollie. We've had him on the show.
We want to support him.
We think he's an absolute lad.
He's
so like
lad.
Do you know what I mean? And also I don't mind when like people do reviews when they get sent stuff early and stuff like that, or like products that they genuinely enjoy and like.
Yeah.
Like when War Paint Fanatic came out by the Army Painter, right? And everyone was like, okay, this is cool. This is making me stuff. I don't like stuff which is obviously a cash-in, which feels like a cash-in, and if you don't use it and stuff like that, right? And I don't know, it's difficult. It's quite awkward. In terms
can
of,
be.
Like, I don't believe in people that are like, don't trust anything that people say when they're endorsed by them, because that's just not how the fucking world works. Man.
No.
If you've got a team of people that are relying on your income as an influencer, it's all good when you're like a singular person that's just like, I don't mind whether this video gets £2 revenue or like 500 to £1,000 revenue, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're like those little indie, people, or like your Peaches or your Suggs or whatever of the world, right? And it's like, they kind of need their videos to perform well. So it's like, you can't be so dismissive of that. And it's a complicated world, man. Like, even me, was on the left of center in terms of my politics. Like, we all need to eat. And it's like, I think this, like, working in the creative arts for a while, there seems to be this mythology that, like, if you work and do anything creative, then you can't earn money for it. And it's such bullshit. And it's like, we all need to eat. We all need to try and survive in this fucking capitalistic hellscape that we're all in. It's like, don't be so critical. And like, you may consider otherwise if you're on the other foot, but equally do it with a little bit of grace and decorum as well.
I think you need to like look at the products as well for yourself. Like talking about whether or not you should trust influencer endorsements. Like I think you should always take it with a grain of salt, because obviously these people are they're endorsing it for a reason. And one of those reasons could be that they've been, given stuff for free or been paid to endorse it. And the other one could be that they just genuinely really like the product, and maybe they reached out to the company and said, can I endorse you? And can you chuck me some free paintbrushes or something? And like, it's hard to sort of differentiate between the two, because there's not like a disclaimer coming up at the bottom telling you which of the cases it is. So, you as a viewer don't know that. You don't know whether or not these people truly believe in the product, or whether or not they're just spouting it because they're getting free shit, basically. And I think that's the danger, is you'll get a lot of like people saying, oh, this is great. And then you try it and you're like, I don't really see what the fuss is about. But then another product, you'll see like a couple of people say, this is absolutely amazing. You guys should try it. And like Colour Forge, for example, you'll get on it and you'll be like, I'm never looking back. Like, so you've got to, I don't know, just don't go in too hard. Like, I would never go in and buy like a 500 paint set. I know you do this all the time, but like, I wouldn't go and be like, oh, I'm going to buy like the big 200 paints of this new range of whatever, unless I really knew the company made shit hot paints already and I'd used them before. So like, go in with like something a bit smaller, try it out, see for yourself, and if you're like, actually, this is the tits, like,
in my defense, Edward, in my defense, I recently backed the old Duncan Rhodes Grim Dark Army paint set. But
that's he's good.
I know that he makes great paints. Transatlantic make great paints. It's going to be great. I'm doing a lot of Trench Crusade. It makes sense.
It does.
Right? P3 was a bit of a thing. But like, I think you've just got to be really buyers aware. I mean, my go-to philosophy in regards to all of this, how it filters down with people buying stuff in general, is like, if you still feel passionately about what you want to buy in a month, then buy it. Yeah. Right? Like give yourself a cool down. Give yourself a cool down. Like Beastman.
Just do some research as well. Like, go on the internet, look what people think, go on Reddit, look for reviews, go on YouTube. Yeah. You'll find people talking about stuff, honestly. And
knowledge is power. And even with us, right? Even with stuff that we like and we rant about all the time, like, do your research too, right? Yeah.
Might not be right for you as an individual. No. It could be for us, but you might be like, actually, it's not really my speed. No.
Although we've had good compliments on our Discord of people being like, "Oh yeah, these are great," especially for me the Fnatic range, when I'm like, "The Fnatic range are great," and people are like making that change to like
same with Colourforge. We've had a few people who bought Colourforge and they're like, "This is really good. I'm not going to look back." Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I think you need to basically, like everything in life, kind of do your own research, look at it sort of objectively and intelligently, and kind of figure out whether or not it's right for you before you invest too heavily in stuff that influencers are endorsing. I think that's probably the best advice.
Perfect advice.
Yeah,
perfect advice. Actually, very good advice. And and don't be afraid to experiment as well and do some cool stuff too.
Exactly.
But yeah, cool. That's it.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
Should we throw someone under the bus? No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
There we go. Okay, cool. So, hardest colours to work with and our strategies to combat them.
Yeah.
Would you like to start?
I mean, the most obvious one, white.
Go on. Ooh,
white
choice.
is a bugger.
White is a bugger. And I kind of look at white in terms of the spectrum of colours of white, cream, and like bright.
Cream I find
Olympic
easier than white. But white I find, like, when you've got that kind of grey white where it's almost sort of like,
yes,
what's
Olympic white?
Yeah, what's that white contrast that you like? The one
apothecary
white. That kind of white where we're talking, it's almost like a faint grey over white. Like that can be quite tricky to paint. I think that bold titanium white, as we've mentioned before, as a paint is incredibly good. It covers really well. That's probably peak white paint, but still, like, painting a whole army white is an undertaking. It's very unforgiving, because if you cock up with another color, like you get a bit of red on it, it's harder to fix that.
As previously discussed on the channel, right?
Yeah,
with the white scars thing.
Exactly.
It's like, fuck white scars.
It's a lot harder to fix that than it is if you dab a bit on some black or whatever, because on black you could probably wash it off, and even if there's a tiny bit of staining, you're never going to see it because it's over a dark color. Whereas if you do it on white, you're definitely going to see that. You have to touch that back up, and that can be quite unforgiving as a paint. I think just to start this subject, there's a couple more colors, and I need to expand on white a little bit as well. The advice that I always give people, obviously we talked about this on the channel before, is to obviously plan really far in advance. But like white is a classic example of like working backwards from what you expect, where it's like start brighter than you expect with your undercoat, shade everything dark down again rather than go the other way, and then dry brush or layer on top of that. Sure.
And like my technique for doing whites, because I've done a bit of white scars, I've done a lot of Terminators, Deathwing Terminators.
Yeah,
right?
You have, yeah.
Is like grey sear / white scar or whatever. And then for white stuff, for like apothecaries or like white scars or whatever, like apothecary white, dry brush, Corax or appropriate going up, and then white scars, your spot highlights or whatever, right? And then just pray you don't fuck it up and like slip.
Yeah.
With another colour over the top.
I've painted a lot of glow effects, and I use white as an undercoat. And like I normally actually go with what's the contrast cream base called? I can never remember what it's called. It's a normal cream. It's a normal base. It's a normal paint, but it's what they recommend. It's Wraithbone. That's it, Wraithbone. So I normally use Wraithbone as a base, and then I go over it with bold titanium white. But I don't necessarily have to hit the whole thing. At least if I want to focus it on the middle of like a lens, you know what I mean? Like broadly the middle. And then when I put my glowy contrast over the top of that, if the recesses are a little bit more like creamy, it doesn't matter because it's still going to look great. But brightest bit will be brightest. So that's kind of how I've done all my glow effects on like my GSC and my Necrons.
Cream. So cream is kind of like the opposite, where like actually I would start with something a bit darker. I normally start with more gas bone, but I know that a lot of people, I fucking drink that paint, as you
love
painfully aware. Or Xandri, and then go up from there. And actually, I think because the pigmentation is a little bit different with cream, you can actually kind of build up the layers a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And dry brushing, of course.
They're less powdery as well than white, I find, cream.
Me too. Yeah. Me too. I agree with that, actually. Yeah, what is that powder? Is that just the pigmentation?
Yeah, I don't know. It just powders really easily, especially with dry brushing. You have to keep your brush moist. Yeah.
Moist that dry brush.
Moist.
What do you mean by a moist dry brush?
I mean, dip the back end of your paintbrush in, and then I actually use a little sponge. You can get them from Artis Opus. He does like a little sponge in a little dish, and then I dip the. It's great actually. It's genuinely like the best product I've bought from them. And you dip the back of that paintbrush in to wet the sponge, and then just use your finger to sort of like rub the water around, and then just get a bit of that on a clean dry brush, and it literally just moistens the tip up a bit. And then when you dry brush, you won't dry brush that sort of dusty dry brushing that you get oftentimes. Like if you don't do that, your dry brushing can look quite dusty.
Exactly. You got to be careful.
It's worse with white.
Yeah, you got to be careful that it doesn't obviously smudge. You've got to be really,
but you don't
really
wet
careful.
it that much. It doesn't. It's it's like a literal on it, rather than you're not dipping into the brush in water. You're just getting it a little bit moist on the tip. Just sort of getting it a bit excited.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What other colours are going to name yellow?
Yellow, yeah, that's a.
And my advice for yellow is to give up and not actually.
No,
paint
I think
yellow.
that's bullshit.
Have you ever tried it?
Yes.
I'm going through yellow hell at the moment. How did you deal with yellow?
There's two ways. You either do the new Imperial Fists contrast over white, which is very good, and then you can go over that one with I think is it Cassandora yellow glazy color, which is very nice. Or you can do the other way that loads of people like to do it. Like I've seen a lot of influencers doing this, which is to sort of spray like a pinky base and go over it with that. And I think people use Imperial Fists over that as well a lot, but it kind of gives you a better, more realistic shadow on it because it.
Why is yellow so hard? Again, I think it's the pigmentation, right? But
it's just a tricky one.
The varying colours that you get with yellow is absurd because sometimes they go a bit orangey.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get this bright, like, in-your-face, mega fight or flight yellow that you're like, what the hell is that? Do you know what I mean?
I'd really like to try doing an oil wash over yellow and see what that looks like because I feel like, especially because one of the things I noticed when I did some yellow test Space Marines a while back was that if you wash them, you know how like you do the recess shading with Space Marines armor panels and all that sort of stuff. If you use things like Agrax, it's very stainy on yellow.
Yeah,
and you have to be so accurate. Whereas I feel like if you were to do your yellow and then hit it with some varnish, some like gloss varnish, and then do a pin wash with an oil paint into those recesses because that uses the I can't remember what the bloody is. It something flow? Is it laminar flow?
Yes, lateral flow,
something like that. Laminar flow, maybe. It basically what it does is it lets the oil paint just seeps into the recesses and stays off the raised bits, and then once that's obviously cured, because oil paints don't dry, they cure. Well, they do touch dry and then they cure.
They take for a long time.
And obviously, the nice thing about that is you can also just clean up the surfaces with like a little isopropanol cotton bud or whatever, and if you do cock it up, you can get it back off again. It's a longer process, but I think that could work quite well with yellow, personally.
I agree.
And also, like I said, the Cassandora yellow, it's like an orange almost, really. That works quite well as a recess shade because you can just chuck it all over the whole model, and it gives you that nice warm yellow, but also gives a bit of warmth and darkness to the recesses. And again, you can also zenithal highlight when you spray. So spray black, then spray a solid white over the top from an angle. And I think that can work well to get those recesses a bit darker. There are ways around yellow, but I think
of course
it's more doable now than it's ever been.
I agree with you. I totally agree. I think also bear in mind that, again, it goes back to our first point about the first step of making sure your undercoat is valid because you can, of course, just get a fucking yellow undercoat and just do that, and then at least
you've
got a solid foundation.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you've got, as I've discovered with my project, because I'm doing my iron sultanate in the purple yellow scheme.
Yeah.
And like yellow isn't necessarily the most prominent color on that model, so undercoating it from a yellow base doesn't actually make sense.
No, of course.
So I've been working with Avalon Sunset.
Yeah.
Because again, the weird thing is like every single color of Games Workshop Paint or Army Paint Fanatic or P3 have completely different color coverage.
Yeah.
Like,
they do.
And what I'm going to talk about in a minute, like, and it's weird because you think that the same companies have exactly, or the same rough colors have exactly the same coverage.
Yeah.
And they really don't.
No.
They really don't. And I've discovered that Avalon Sunset, for whatever reason, has a better coverage than most in terms of like the pigment to ratio. Of course, it is a base paint, so it should do in inverted commas. But I'm just doing that. Then Idanian, is it? What's the Eldar Craft Worlds like with the yellow Craft World? What's that?
Yeah. Iyanden or something. Yeah.
There's a Iyanden color yellow, which I think is quite similar to Imperial Fist yellow or whatever.
Yeah.
Which turns it into a yellow.
You should try that Imperial Fist contrast. Though.
I probably should.
It's really good.
I probably should actually.
It's one of their newer ones.
Highlight from there.
So like heavy on the pigment. It's insane.
They came out with like the Black Legion lot, didn't they? And all of those guys, didn't they? So that was good. That was a really good wave of paints. Actually,
that was, yeah. They really improved upon the last lot.
The formula.
Yeah.
And then finally, I think the other really arsehole paint to use is pink.
Okay. Yeah, pink's another. It's these bright colours we're kind of finding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was listening recently to the Siege Studio pod and how all of them, who are very experienced painters domestically and stuff like that, were like, all my Emperor's Children look like shit.
Yeah.
They look terrible.
Apollo's managed to nail his Emperor's Children. If you guys haven't seen in the Discord, go and check it out in the hobby channel. Like, they look amazing, and his pink is like baller. So it can be done, but it is a tricky one, I think. Again, it's just another bright color. I think they're not easy, you know.
But again, after listening to the Siege guys, they're quite into their GW paints.
Yeah.
And they're using that Emperor's pink.
Okay.
And I use the War Painter Fanatic Elderflower colour or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That shit went on great.
I found
it was like literally 2 coats, and I was like,
GW pinks to be quite chalky as well.
The GW whites are fucking awful.
They are, but the pinks are not great either.
No.
I've got an honourable mention of a hard colour to work with, and it's not hard to work with from like a hobbying perspective, but I find it hard to work with from, it's not necessarily the easiest to get it looking really good sometimes, which is black.
Because interesting choice.
Sometimes I find like you kind of go down one of two ways. You either go with like a sort of black, grey, white kind of, you know, you're slowly going up the grey scale, or you go with like the blue-black, which is more like that black Templar-y kind of colour.
Iron Hands black and Death Watch black. That's what I refer to this as.
So like, and it's a bit tricky sometimes to get that looking exactly how you want. And there's a lot of like either edge highlighting, like Luke's done with his Black Templars. If you haven't seen them on the battle barn, they are amazing. And that's a lot of work, that is, like to get that really nice, crisp looking edge of the armor panels and stuff. Or you dry brush it, but again, it's a lot of dry brushing layers. You're working your way up through several different colors. And I've done it with some Deathwatch Marines before. And it's just like, I actually, as easy as everyone says black is, I wouldn't really want to do a whole army of that. Like,
I don't think
I feel like it would be hard work.
To make it look good on the battlefield is really hard.
Because it's such a dark color, you lose a lot of your highlights almost in the color. You have to be a bit more bold than you realize in some respects. I found it with my Gene Stealer cult vehicles, because they've gone down the blue-black route.
I remember like the very late night
on that, the doubles event that we did,
but like, you're right. Black is a mythologically difficult color. I actually think. I think it's nowhere near as easy as what people make it out to be, and us to underestimate black at your peril. Actually,
I find it hard work. I do, genuinely.
I do too. I've always gone down the dry brush wash route.
Yeah.
And then pick out edge highlights.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that tends to work all right.
That's a good way of doing it. That's what I did with my Deathwatch.
It's a dark art, man. No pun intended. Dad joke!
God.
It's a dark art, the old black on black. But let us know your most hated color
please
combos. The one army that I will never paint ever for obvious reasons, but I actually think their color scheme is shit and also looks really hard. What is it?
Don't know. Tell me.
Space Wolves.
Oh, okay. You're not a big fan of Space Wolves, are you?
Rust grey and yellow.
I quite like it. It doesn't bother me.
Oh, I think it looks so bad.
Yeah.
It's another reason why the Space Wolves are the worst chapter of all time.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that.
I will. What are you stretching?
You're in denial.
I'm not. Really not. Mm-hmm. I'm really fucking not. I'm really not. I'm all right, mate. I've only got space in my life for one furry faction, and it's the Goat Men. Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm all right. I'm okay. Thank you very much. There you go. See. So this was an interesting one. We did a Primarch draft, and it's our Avengers. Oh, baby, a triple! Perfect team of Primarchs.
Yes.
So we chose 3 that I presume neither one of us would also choose, potentially,
yes,
as well.
Wouldn't, I don't think.
So this is our 3 holy trinity of Primarchs. If we had to, like, sort of grab them and form them into an ultimate team of Primarchs, what would they be? And we're gonna go between, and then we'll ask you to vote on what the better team was, and also what your team would be. Right? Great. So go on then, Ed. You start us out. Go on.
Do you want me to just name all 3?
No, just do one
at a time. Okay, all right. So the brains behind the operation, as well as the brawn of my team, is Perturabo.
Oh!
Now I think Perty would be. He would be an exceptional leader for my team, right? And I think that he's got ways around things. He's a good problem solver. I think he would. He doesn't like, you know, he doesn't balk at kind of just throwing shit at a problem to make it fixed, right?
No.
And I kind of like that about him. He's ruthless.
Whether that be legionnaires or
slaves
vehicles
or whatever,
anything.
yeah, exactly, demons, or whatever, you know. So I think Perty would be my first choice, and you'll see why as my team builds up. Because I think we've got quite a special.
Doesn't play well with others.
No,
however.
He doesn't. But
we need to bear that into consideration.
He's my guy in the chair in this instance.
The cuck chair?
No, not the cuck
chair. We should title this video Primarch Draft or whatever, right? This is a draft, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, well, I'm going to choose an obvious one first. Because he is
Russ.
the ultimate Primarch. Sorry?
Russ.
No! I thought you were talking to me. I thought you were like Russ, which makes this even more ironically funny. Certainly fucking not the worst Primarch of all time. Fuck Russ. I am choosing the Lion. I have 3 positions to fill in my dream
Doggy.
Primarch.
Look, I don't want your lion fantasies coming out on this podcast. We've talked about this before, Russ.
That's really funny, actually. Yeah. So my 3 positions, just to give you guys a foresight into it, is War Master,
yes,
Emperor, and High Ecclesiarch.
Oh,
so I've gone for the Lion as my War Master, the ultimate tactical Primarch, an incredible duelist, arguably one of the greatest duelists of all time. Fuck off! We are the Dreadwind. We are death. Come on, mate. Whatever. Those Rangdang got seriously wrecked. Thank you very much. Get out. You don't know what you're talking about.
Those guys that no one even fucking knows about or heard about or gives a shit about.
The ones that almost threatened the entire
they were
Imperium.
Terrifying. That's why there's so much lore written about them.
It's because it's secret. Because, I think that was why we lost to Primarch. But that's besides the point, actually. So the Rangdan, arguably the biggest threat to the Imperium ever, potentially, right?
Yeah, sure.
The greatest tactician, fuck off. One of the greatest duelists of all time. And he's just a complete badass. He's the ultimate. He has some of the best weapons ever conceived, hidden underneath the old rock. He's King Arthur. Bite me. He's awesome. He's the greatest Primarch of all time.
Okay, sure.
Suck on these
Everyone's
lion
entitled
nuts.
to their opinions, Russ.
I'm not wrong in this opinion. I'm not wrong. A lot of people consider the Lion to be the greatest Primarch, and he is. Get out.
All right.
Probably the original choice for War Master, but that's a conversation for another time.
My next one already takes me up to 3. Alfarius and Omegon.
Oh, nice. This is a great way
twins.
around that.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a great way around that. I mean, your
I've still got one more,
Gestapo,
don't worry.
I bet you have. Your ultimate Gestapo secret police, right?
Yeah. I want these guys to be working in the shadows, playing at your own game. Maybe one of your 3 Primarchs doesn't even really work for you. Who knows? Maybe they're sneakily working for me.
I don't think so.
Master Tactician? Yeah, anyway. So yeah, the Alfarius and Omegon, I obviously love a sneaky boy.
You do. That is your
yeah, all this
prerogative.
like, back alley warfare. Who doesn't love a bit of back alley action?
Back alley
Working in the
Sally.
shadows, I love this, and I think that obviously with Perturabo sort of directing from the chair, as it were, and
nice combo,
we've got a couple of agents in Alfarius and Omegon sowing seeds of discord and chaos out there. I think we could really get a lot of work done. Really sort of disrupt some stuff.
I mean, in your defense, like, the work that the Alpha Legion put into the Great Crusade and would later obviously be the Horus Heresy is insane. They have weirdly a massive, massive legion, like huge legion of unknown strength.
Yeah.
And terrify, quite frankly, other sort of legions and stuff. Like, incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Not the best fighters.
No, not necessarily.
As Dawn will attest to, like...
But I mean, what's scarier than like
Mm-hmm.
when you're fighting them and then suddenly the guy stood next to you with a heavy bolter just turns and blows you away, I
mean, it's a fair, valid point.
Exactly.
I like it. I like your angle. I certainly like your angle.
So that's my second pick.
Good choice. I knew you were going to choose. I wasn't sure about your other choices, but I knew you were going to choose Alfarius. Cool. Okay. So, as previously discussed, I have 3 positions in my perfect empire.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is Emperor. And I think, what better Primarch to take the Emperor position than the blessed Hawk Boy himself, old Sangy.
Yeah.
So, Sanguinius, the great angel. Speaking of greatest Primarchs of all time, I think the Lion for me is a subjective choice.
Yeah.
I think the objective greatest Primarch of all time is Sanguinius.
Yeah.
I think he's amazing. He is just... Apart from his little PTSD, I'm going to kill everybody, Black Rage moment / Red Thirst thing.
Yeah.
Technically not the Black Rage, but the Red Thirst, right? I mean, apart from that.
Pretty cool guy. Foresight, more sight, better than your sight.
Indeed. But also has that humanitarian edge.
Yeah.
Not as much as Vulcan, but still he gives a shit.
Yeah.
Right? Which,
and he's blonde, so he has more fun.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. He does long blonde hair. He has loads of fun.
Actually, you've chosen 2 blonde Primarchs, basically, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah.
Look at me getting. don't read into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
favorite position.
I think he's great, and I think he's already potentially proven himself to be a worthy ruler.
Yeah.
When the Imperium Secundus happened during the time of the Horus Heresy.
Although he's not a great fighter now that he's dead.
Yeah, but we're taking this contextually when all of the Primarchs were kicking around, right?
Yeah, I'm joking.
You could have chose Ferrus Manus if you were really so lamely, thing, but that's fine.
Yeah. Death Grip.
But he is an incredible fighter, right? Like, I would argue he's actually possibly the greatest Primarch fighter of all time. I just think that, obviously, compared to Horus being all souped up by chaos, he had 0 chance to start with, right? The Emperor was kind of, at one point, kind of struggling.
Yeah.
So, he's awesome. Everyone loves Sanguinius. He would be a just and worthy emperor, and I don't think anyone would mind bending the knee to him, quite frankly, unless you're another suitably sociopathic, foresight wielding person. But there you go. So there we go.
So my last choice, he is the go out there and the doer, the get it done, the down and dirty.
I hate this choice.
Conrad
I'm setting you up, by
Kurz.
the way. I literally set you up.
Yeah,
that.
did you?
You didn't comment on that at all.
No, well done.
Fine.
The down and dirty Conrad Kurz. So
Very dirty.
he would get shit done. Like he is, again, like Purty, he's not against getting his hands dirty, but like legitimately his hands real dirty.
I don't think he gets shit done,
up to his
Ed. I just
nuts
don't think
in guts, right?
I don't think he gets shit done. I think he's just a fucking sociopath, mate.
Which is perfect. That's exactly what I want. I want him to just go out there and absolutely murder fuck a load of dudes. Like, you've got him running around just ripping people to shreds. You got Alfaris and Omegon going around the sidelines being like, oh,
I'm sorry.
You know, whatever. And then Percy's just wading through, smashing people to bits, and like he's directing the whole thing.
Literally, like, as a functioning empire, though, buddy, you have problems.
No, I don't think so.
You're ruling humanity. You bitch about the emperor.
It would be a
you
dark
are like
version
ruling
of humanity
with an iron fist.
Yeah, yes,
like,
exactly.
God damn.
Exactly.
Like,
That's what I want.
I don't think you'd be able to control
dark.
Conrad. I don't think you'd be able to control Conrad.
I would.
I agree with your two choices. I agree with
Conrad's
great
the best choice.
No, he's not. He's terrible choice.
He's great.
Terrible choice.
Got foresight as well.
Yeah, well, does he?
Yeah, he does.
Really?
He does.
I mean, literally, but like, it corrupts that silly little brain of his into doing silly things. So there we go. I'm not a fan of Conrad. I don't like him. I think he's an absolute penis, but like,
I think he's
a self-fulfilling prophecy extraordinaire. I don't think he is. I think he is. I'm going to kill this world because I feel like it. Killing babies because that's fun. No, dude, no, Conrad. The other two I can give you, and I think our third choice is going to be debatable on both sides. Actually, no, I mean, you know, he does have foresight. He is a very capable warrior.
Yep.
He has zero ability to like hold his brain together, right, or to be able to like be focused to do a bloody task. So I think that will be, I mean, you have a terrifying array of choices, like I said. I don't think you have a particularly, it would be a dark
Imperium, let's put it that way.
It would be a dark Imperium. I don't think you would have a particularly high rebellion rate, quite frankly. It'd be like, citizen, take your food and, and move along.
Gruel.
And like Yeah. Oh God, dude. Okay. Fine. I'll let you have your choice. My last choice is High Ecclesiarch, and capable for the soul of my Imperium. Like, keep it being inspiring and keeping its like citizens controlled. and my choice is Lorgar Aurelian is my final choice. What do you think about that choice?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, gone from blonde to bold. I like it.
He could be blonde.
He could be. You never know. Yeah,
we don't know. We just don't know.
I like Lorgar. I've got a special place in my heart for Lorgar.
Interesting. Why do you like Lorgar?
I just think he's a cool dude. I think he's, again, quite a misunderstood guy. I think he tried to do what he thought was right and got absolutely shut down for it, as we've discussed previously. And I think that kind of sent him on the dark path. But I actually think, you know, before his fanaticism and all that sort of stuff, I think he was pretty cool, you know?
I agree. I think also, like, well, obviously I chose it. I also think that, like, Lorgar's biggest USP is his ability to inspire those around him.
He does,
whether it's like his followers, legionnaires, or whole entire worlds into very particular, like, divine directions, right? Whether it's for the Imperial Truth or,
it's like a cult following.
Or fortunately. Yeah, exactly. Cult of personality, right?
Exactly.
And what got me thinking was, like, how cool a loyalist Lorgar would be in like our flipped Primarchs around thing, right? And the concept of like a high ecclesiarch Lorgar just being like, sir, like almost like a worm tongue to whatever emperor you've got, right? And like, yeah, exactly. I think that's the coolest direction for Lorgar ever, right? And like to have that authority and like, you know, if someone annoys him to be like, I've still got a I can imagine him doing some
like epic speeches, you know.
Oh, dude, absolutely. And again, I always love the idea with Lorgar that, you know, don't get me wrong, he's one of the weaker Primarchs, right? But like, even so, he's still a Primarch, and if you do get on the wrong side of him, you're getting a Bible belt in the form of a massive mace across your face, which I still think is still epic. Yeah, it's still beyond epic, right?
He is very cool.
And I love the word bearers in general. They're weirdly one of my favourite legions.
Word bearers are the best.
I don't think they're the best, but they're pretty up there for me. Wow, they're your favourite legion?
No, they're definitely one of my favourite Chaos Legions. Eh?
Okay, cool.
I do love word bearers. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What's not to love?
So I've got like a more aspiring Imperium with a hidden dark side.
Yes.
And you've got a terrifying
strike from the shadows. Dark, like you would never feel safe. You'd never, and no one would rebel because they'd just be like, "He's listening," or "They're listening."
No, they're listening.
Yeah,
they're listening to everything.
No channels would be safe because of Purty. No place would be safe because Conrad's always in the shadows, and you don't know whether the people you're even working with are allied to Alfarius. You just fuck. How could you operate under such a circumstance?
God,
yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, what a terrifying regime.
Dystopia.
Quite frankly. Yeah, like I mean, the Imperium was already bad, right?
Yeah.
But that is some warped cut shit. It's like Trench Crusade. There's 40k, quite frankly.
That's how it should
there we go,
shouldn't it?
Well, maybe.
Should be darker.
Maybe
should be more.
I don't know. I quite like. No, I don't know. I feel like we have both systems for a reason. And actually, I quite like how it is.
It's a good balance.
Don't go.
It's a good.
It
just shouldn't go any further. Like no. I agree.
Don't go too crazy grimdark for 40k, and don't go too like happy, like equally, right? And the same for Trench Crusade. Like they occupy their space. It's fine. Yeah. It's cool. It's just the old world is the best anyway.
Matter of opinion.
No, I don't think it is. But let us know your 3 favourite Primarchs, please.
Drop us a comment down below.
Yes, please. Let us know. Know. And we'll look forward to working with Alan and Whitney in the future.
Yeah, it'd be good fun.
Thank you very much, my glorious co-host.
Likewise.
Have you got any final thoughts?
My equally glorious co-host. No, pretty much just, Let us know if you guys have got any topics you want us to cover. We've got like a topic suggestion bit in the Discord. So if you have anything you'd like to hear us talk about, then please just drop us a comment or go in the Discord and leave us one there. But yeah, big thanks to all our Patreons again, and to
as always,
and to all our supporters and our community and you guys listening. So it's been a pleasure. We will see you in a couple of weeks' time.
Ciao, everybody.
Ciao.
Thank you.